Hello and welcome back to From the Depths, campaign number 2. So today, I'm going to go ahead and take that one tile that we didn't manage to take yesterday. So, this is the airship gantry from the Deepwater Guard over here in this lovely little tile. We had previously had our fleet positioned here, and we're capturing it at 30%, as you can see. The Onyx Watch have, in turn, put their forces here in this tile to capture it, as they are at war with the Deepwater Guard as well as us, which is making them ally to us if we check in the faction menu. 51.8%. Before I'd like to capture the airship gantry, I'd like to actually capture this zone, so I'm going to have our fleet positioned here, and I'm going to pull it all, and then go times 10 speed. The cursor settings should be correct, and you should be able to see my cursor now, and if not, I will fix that in the next video. I've also gone to lengths to fix my audio, because I realized last episode that my audio is extremely quiet, and I hope that that doesn't happen this time. I believe it was something to do with the compression during the uploading process to YouTube, or it could have been something that I did in the video editing software that I use. Either way now, we have a little bit better of a situation. Wow, a lot of scrap up here. That should be, well, that should be the enemies fighting each other. Ah, yes, now we have this tile.
Listening.
So our fleet can go ahead and position into an attack
Moving
position. We can go ahead and blockade these guys in a second, but I wonder what happens if we capture here first. They'll probably send out an attack force or something like they did with the Sea Viper once we got close to them. In the meantime, though, our resources are full on the Home Sweet Home base, and Sinner's Outpost, of course. We are filling up our own resources here, which is going to be a great asset to our fleet. Now, today I wanted to also start construction on a new battleship, a pre-dreadnought style battleship, which if I actually spawn the fortress in, that might help. So, the basic idea behind a pre-dreadnought battleship, if I can find a picture of one, and I'll put it up on screen about here-ish. So the basic idea behind a pre-dreadnought battleship is a two-gun system. So you have your hull here. On the front you have a turret, on the back you have a turret, and they both have about 2 guns each, usually. The pre-dreadnoughts also carried extensive secondary gun armaments, including anywhere from a 2-inch secondary gun for torpedo boats and light-armed cruisers, to a 10-inch gun, which is basically acting as a secondary main gun. Interestingly enough, these ships were in service from only around the 1885 era to 1906, when the actual Dreadnought, HMS Dreadnought, was launched. That ship was basically the reason that these pre-dreadnoughts were named pre-dreadnoughts, because they were inferior to later designs, such as the Dreadnought itself. And, well, they didn't really hold up that well against the newer types of ships that were also coming out along with the Dreadnought-class battleships. Now, these pre-dreadnoughts, I'm building them because they are simple to build, they are small, and they don't cost a lot of resources. Or at least they shouldn't cost a lot of resources. I've never built one before, so this will be my first venture into actually building a battleship-style ship in this game. But first, I would like to capture the airship gantry, because I bet that's going to be a lot of resources. So we have an Atlas, if I zoom out so I can see the whole force, house, and a cannon fortress. I bet that we could take that. Now, I've done the liberty of upgrading the engine systems of our fleet here, so they shouldn't take too long to get into position.
Moving out.
They won't, okay. But I'd still like to move up the speed here a little bit so that we don't have to take all day waiting for these guys to get into attack position. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and position our fleet correctly here, if I can start the battle. Okay. Lovely. The battle has begun, and we are in fact aboard our little craft here, which I should probably stay in the seat of so I don't fall out of. Let's see exactly what our ships are doing. Oh boy, that looked bad. Oh, I should probably turn them on before we actually get into a battle that is hitting us hard, actually. The enemy is doing well. Ooh, that's the Atlas, isn't it? Yes, it is. Luckily, our missiles do appear to be working as intended. Working as intended. Very different from working correctly, isn't it? However, the Atlas does seem to be staying in the air, which is quite surprising. I believe there's a way to focus all fire on one target. I'm not sure exactly what that button is, although we are taking out the cannon here. Yep, it's dead. Okay. I think it's Q, if I remember correctly from that tutorial. Right? Ooh, it is.
Engaging now.
Beautiful. Okay. So now our ships, once they reload, they should start firing on this guy. There we go. I'd really, really love to capture this beautiful without destroying it, please. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off our ships for the moment, and then I'm gonna hop back in my... Oh, dear. Well, that's not bad. I'm just gonna go ahead and ignore that, because that's not a very good thing to have happen is when your ships run aground. Okay, so it appears we have made it to this dry dock type thing, and it is healing the Atlas, which is down. So we're gonna have to find the AI rather quickly here, because I'd rather not have that thing operational. I don't know what that is, but it looks like an AI. Is this mine now? It is! Oh, what the... What's happening? What? Super Atlas engaged? What?
Engaging now.
Okay, well, that solves that issue quite handsomely. Looks like we are trying to repair the airship gantry. I'd prefer not to. Just get away from that. Now these houses, these do appear to be unarmed, and they are not worth a whole lot of materials, but they're worth a lot to me because I don't have a whole lot of materials, and I'd rather like to get some more. I don't know why that's floating, but whatever. Oh, well, that means that this is mine, because I'm repairing. Ow. No, don't get stuck in the wall. It's a bad idea. I will cut back once I capture the other two houses, and we can go on our battleship building venture. Okay, so lovely. We have captured all three houses and the airship gantry. Unfortunately, the Atlas, well, we kind of blew that up. I was thinking about capturing it, and then it just kind of died. Yeah. Kind of embarrassing, honestly. But that's okay, because we got this big chunk in resource thing. And I'm wondering if we should scrap this or actually leave this here as a forward outpost. I'm gonna definitely for sure scrap the houses. So let's go ahead and actually do that right now. To a dead blueprint, not completely destroy it. You know what? It's fine. We're not going to use these. These are kind of just sitting here.
Listening.
And wasting our resources because we could collect these easily. There we go. Oh, and apparently it's raining. Lovely. So, what to do with this airship gantry? Am I going to keep it? Am I going to destroy it? How much are you worth? 10,000 material. 10,000. That would be, not all that worth it. That's about the price of one of the missile cruisers, which I have sitting over there. They've all beached themselves because they are very smart and intelligent creatures. However, I don't really see the need for this because this was purpose-built for the Atlas, but I could use it for my own airship designs in the future. So actually, I'm just going to I'm going to pull this out of play for now.
Yes?
Okay, so I'm going to pull this out of play and going to go and fix all my other ships, and I'll cut back once we're back at the starter fortress. Okay, and welcome back to the starter fortress. So, we're gonna build that pre-dreadnought battleship now, so we can actually have a nice strengthening to our wooden fleet of doomed combatants that will eventually die a horrible, painful death. That, which I would rather not happen too soon. So hopefully this will be able to bolster our fleet enough to keep those ships alive long enough that they can do the damage while this thing comes and kind of takes all the damage. That's basically my idea, is have the pre-dreadnought battleship uh, take it in the arse while the other ships kind of give it in the arse. So I would think we want to make it out of metal because although the lightweight alloy has some decent armor protection, it's still not quite as healthy as the metal blocks, and I prefer the metal blocks. Well, actually, do we go with the lightweight or do we go with the metal? Because the lightweight, I know for a fact it floats on its own, oddly enough, even though it's metal. Yeah, see, 32 buoyancy, wood has 27 buoyancy, and this thing has minus 1.7 buoyancy. But that's okay, because the empty space of this is the same exact buoyancy as this empty space, and actually better than this relative buoyancy. So I think we'll use metal blocks just because they have slightly more health and slightly more armor, and they do weigh quite a lot more, but that's fine. Gonna go ahead and place ourselves a block so that, oops, didn't make a new structure. That would probably help. There we are. Not exactly sure how I'm supposed to get this away from the craft I'm building on, but that's okay. I should not be building that in straight metal, because that will sink. That's a bad idea. I'm gonna go ahead and get some of the keel laid out, and I will cut back when that is completed, and then we can start building more of the ship. Okay, so at the moment here, I am building myself a little bit of a gantry-way, kind of like the Atlas one that we just captured, except this one is for ships, so that I can build on here without having to worry about the ship bouncing around in the waves too much and, you know, going all over the place. This will just make it a whole lot easier to actually build the ship on. Okay, so I do have a basic keel done here for this battleship, and I believe that this is the good shape that we will go with, and it'll actually be quite hydrodynamic as far as length versus width is concerned, although it won't be the fastest thing in the universe because it's made out of heavier metal. Not the heaviest of metal, but still quite heavy. As you can see, we're doing fine on resources, and this thing is costing us only 2,700 for the keel. I don't expect this to go above possibly 60,000, as it is going to be quite small for a battleship. But I do believe that is all we have time for today. So I'm going to say all the good basic YouTuber stuff, but I'm actually not going to say that because, whoa, tippy. Okay, cool. As long as it's not falling off, right? Like I just did, because I'm a dope. Yes, so I'd like to thank you for watching. I'd like to invite you to the next episode of the campaign, whenever that ends up being, and basic YouTuber stuff. So this is goodbye.